So today what we're going to do is look at some of the Morote-Waza. Morote means two-handed. So we have a number of those. We have, for example, the movements out of Tencho. We have a series of techniques. Even this movement here is a really nice Morote-Waza. Let's look at some of the ways to apply techniques where you can use them against different grabs. Now, there's always an argument, well, it's not realistic to imagine people are going to grab your hands. People grab their hands all the time because they're not sure what you're going to do. You know, if you shape up and they grab their hands. And if they want to close the range from range 4 to range 3 to range 2, the first thing they do is they grab their hand and start to pull in. I grab the hands, look, I'm going to push one down and in, and then come underneath, and I have an arm drag. And there, push it down, 1, 2, 3. One of the best applications for the two-hand is as we do at the start. So there like that, I don't want trouble, exactly that movement. There like that, here, and I can follow up with an elbow, here, headbutt, take the hands down and headbutt the chest as I pull the leg. There like that. And now I'm in position for a single leg takedown, which is very strong. Push with the head, pull with the head. You've got the same thing, the juji, takedown, headbutt. You've got the same thing, juji, elbow. Same thing, juji, elbow that way. You've got the same thing there. And if you don't really want to hurt him with a headbutt or elbow, they're two of the best techniques around. What you can do is you can forearm jolt across there. It's like an upper block, and the block becomes a blow. There like that. Or let the hands come down, collar tie. So that's a really good application for the initial technique. Probably the first technique anyone ever learns in the dojo is us. The other thing too is coming up. We have Pinan 2 movement. Pinan 2 here, or Pinan 4 there. I'm going to move off there. And Pinan 2 is this sort of movement. The tetsui on the neck, we call it tetsui kome kami, tetsui to the temple. Okay? You've got to remember a lot of these karate techniques are actually designed to really hurt people, but it's a different time, different place. So rather than hit them on the temple, hit them on the carotid sinus. From here, Pinan 2 is move off here like that. There. Okay? And people look and go, well, that's a bit dumb. That's really stupid. But the reality is, if you don't know what a guy's going to do and he suddenly bursts out with some sort of upper punch, the best thing you're going to do is, boom, you're going to cover both hands up. Boom, both hands are coming up. Okay, Pinan 4, I like because the hands are open. So as the hands come up, boom, open, look, I can grab, and this one is a knife hand. Punch comes, I move off the target, boom, knife hand there like that. You can hit there with a knife hand, come back, and then palm heel there, like that. Your punch comes, you can come across the neck or across the eyes. Scrape across the eyes with your fingers, boom, tetsui back, and palm heel, like that. So two hands, Pinan 4, two hands, Pinan 2, hitting the tetsui, or two hands, Pinan 2, scraping across the eyes with the fingertips, and coming back with a knife hand or tetsui on the neck, and follow it straight away with a palm heel. That's a really nice technique. But there, one like that, and it's get you off the line of the target as well, just in case he starts to come in on you. Okay, wrist grabs work really well. This move, remember, Chojo Miyagi said there's no movement in the kata that is redundant, unnecessary, unusable, and that includes this. So we come here, and this move at the start and end of a kata. He has my wrists. I bring the hands up, just like we did in that technique, except now this hand catches his hand there. And then as I come down, it's very debilitating. So I come down, up, and down. Remember, when you do that, you bend your legs, and you come up straight with that technique. So he grabs the wrist, come up here, bang. And of course, if he's in that range. If I use a body replacer, it means I step aside, and he'll go down that way. You can see the wrist. It's really quite debilitating. I have that. I have that. I have that. Okay? So once again, two hands coming up. One grabs the bottom of his hand And I grab this beefy part of the thumb. I think they call it the mound of Venus in palm reading. And I grip that tightly. Now, when I squeeze and take my hand down like that, he has no choice but to go down. Sleeve grabs often happens. It's a bit tricky on a Kyokushin gi because the sleeves are 3/4 length, but the same thing here. What you can do, just let go for a sec, the mawashi uke move. Mawashi uke, there, mawashi uke there. There's two types of mawashi uke. There's the type of mawashi uke that is used to deal with a blow, which means the movement is larger, because now when the punch comes, I need to make sure that I'm covering this danger spot on the neck and head, so the arm comes up there. So when I do the mawashi-uke, it's that sort of motion. But against a grip, it's a lot sharper. So now when he grips, watch what I do very carefully. I'm just going to do mawashi-uke there like that, and pull back, and you can probably tweak or dislocate, or I wouldn't give it much faith, that because people's bodies are a lot stronger than people realize. But one, that's where the damage comes, is the second one. So once again, grabs my sleeves, mawashi-uke, and he gets a really good grip. Boom, there like that, and there like that. So the actual move is quite effective. 1, 2, 3, and I don't have to let go of the arm here. See that? 1, 2, hold the wrist, and I've got to pull the wrist and tweak the tricep tendon right there. Don't stop there. Drop this hand down just like we do in the kata here. We do that in a number of kata. Push down, palm heel, push down, thumb in the eye, push down, punch, push down, elbow. There like that. Exactly the same thing. 1, 2. Hands here, mawashi-uke, like that. It works very well when it flows. Another really good application for a two-handed situation is the double-handed move out of Tensho. So, as you know, Tensho comes in, we go one hand, and then the other hand, bang, up, bang, bang, and then we go two hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up, 7, 8, 9, and then we pull in. So in that circumstance, we're here like this, in the same situation. I don't want trouble. I'm doing the Tensho movement here. See that Tensho movement? 1, 2. Tensho means turning palms. I'm going to turn my hands over. 1 here, turn it back, come back. 1 here, he throws the punch, boom, and then I can slap down, or simply I can be here as he goes to grab me. Boom. I use the Tensho movement, elbow, Tensho movement, headbutt, boom, and elbow there. So I think these moves actually, what they teach you is that there are so many things in traditional karate which we don't take to the next level. We've got to peel that onion layer back. Then you start to see applications, and you'll actually start to see more similarities between the karate techniques and other martial arts and styles than differences. Okay, and the reality is, what's the best martial art? Well, there's only one martial art in my book.
Well, it's exactly like we just trained the lunchtime session, and one of the students was asking you about grappling versus karate, which one would you choose? And you basically said, well, there's only one martial art essentially, and there's more, as you get higher and higher, they be actually intertwine and become more similar than not.
Yeah, look,
it's very
so
interesting.
Sensei
Mike just said,
he just says, he makes so much of the style, but you just watch the moves that are so familiar. Well, the reality is, I think, and the analogy I use is, you might have Mount Fuji, okay, or you'll have a particular mountain, and you'll take a photo from one angle and it'll look something, and you take a photo from another angle, it looks completely different. Photo from the other angle looks completely different. They're all the same mountain, but they all look different. And when someone starts on the north side, he follows a certain path to the top. When someone starts on the south side, the path is different. And they'll literally, the person on the south, the person on the north, will go, yeah, that's not, you have to come around to the south to go. No, we've got a path up the mountain. No, that path won't get you there. This is the martial arts. Everyone argues that the guy in the north south. They all have different paths. And as you get higher and higher up the mountain, you realize the paths get closer and closer. And when you reach the top, it's just all one mountain, And this is the same with the martial arts. You'll always find more similarities than difference if you're realistic about it. And the whole notion that one martial art has answers for another one. There are certain martial arts schools which are, you think of the Dutch kickboxers, for example. They're a combination of Muay Thai and Kyokushin spirit. I just was watching a video of this awesome Dutch kickboxer who was Badr Hari's training partner, and he just knocked someone out, and he comes over to the camera and goes, "Us," like that. There you have the influence in kickboxing of Muay Thai plus the traditions of Japanese martial arts. Okay, so you'll always find similarities. And with these techniques, it's very easy to go, well, that doesn't do anything, or that's kind of silly. Someone's just going to punch you, or, or what does this even mean, or what does this even mean? Well, you have to ask yourself that question, and you have some faith. You go, okay, well, let's have some faith, and let's believe that there is technique in it. And if I can't see it, that's my problem. I need to do my research and look at it and look deeper and keep going deeper and deeper until I start to realize. And the reasons we have those traditional movements that give the martial arts its timelessness is because you're fighting, your hard physical fighting window is maybe 10 years, 12, 15 if you do drugs, 20 if you do really good drugs. Okay, I'm not advocating, I'm just saying that's the reality of it. Okay, but as you get older, you hit your 50s, you hit your 60s, you hit your 70s. What are you going to do? It's not like you're bouncing around with your super 20-year-old footwork doing jump spin back kicks anymore. It's not realistic. But what is realistic is that form and that tradition and that posture and the way the techniques improve your posture, the way the techniques affect your breathing and your spine and everything like that. So there is value in this tradition. And I can tell you now that I've had so many times over the years where I've had people who have got into kickboxing and things like that and boxing, and then it gets to a point where you can't skip anymore, your knees go. You can't, hitting the bag and hitting the mitts day in, day out for 20, 30, 40 years gets a little bit monotonous. But with karate, with these techniques, you start to experiment with stuff, and you do the kata, and you play with these movements, and you realize that the way the kata are put together, it benefits your entire system. Every Shihan, Shihan, the head of Kyokushin, he once said, if you do your karate properly, it exercises and benefits from the bottom of your feet, from the soles of your feet to the top of your head. Every muscle, tendon, and ligament is exercised and washed and improved. I mean, there are certain things you can do on the ground. We've found. I remember I was working with a UFC fighter named Dan Henderson. That was maybe 25 years ago, and he was asking. He kept getting his hands caught. This is the situation in an MMA fight that Dan Henderson found himself, and because he's a wrestler, very hard to break his balance. He's not going anywhere. No one can sweep him. So he's here, and he wanted to rain punches, but they were grabbing his head. They're grabbing his wrists. And what do you do? Well, I was telling him to do a karate thing, which was simply that. So I come here, look, my hands go there, downward block, and punch. So we just practice that together, bang, like this, and that's all we were doing. 1, 2, 3, and you control his grip. 1, 2. Of course, he pushes me away. That's the beauty of the guard. But he has no grip control. So I can guarantee that my hand can move with gravity towards his head a lot quicker than his hips can push me away. Maybe he'll stop it after 1 or 2 punches. But the point is, what do? I have nothing. Okay? And then they're like that. Okay? So it can be very, very quick. Another thing we found is that when I'm trying to pass Mitch's guard, if you do any grappling, this is good, because what we worked out is I'm going to bring both hands to here. Remember? Both hands, just drop down a little bit. Both hands to one leg. See that? Both hands to one leg, and then pull that hand out. That's all I'm doing. Both hands to one leg, and this hand goes there like that. Now I've cleared the grip, and if you want, lead straight into that. So I'm in here, I'm in the guard. The first thing they do, they get your sleeves. I know it's not a BJJ gi. And they'll often put their elbow, they'll put their knees in like this. Okay, so I'm going to use my karate there to break the grip. They grab the sleeve again. Okay, I'm going to bring both hands to one leg. Push down, clear the leg, and come past. So every day when Mitch and I train together and grapple, we discover all kinds of ways to apply our karate, which had we not opened ourselves up to range 4 and 5, we may never have discovered.
Just to be clear here for the viewers, every day we train, Shihan discovers these new techniques and so on. I just happen to be there. I just want to be clear on that.
He's been a bit humble there. I'm sure he has his own insights. We use so many karate techniques to problem solve in grappling, and they're really, really practical. But anyway, so look, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Really appreciate you always coming along. My Patreon family, thank you very much. I really appreciate it because you helped me do this. So thanks, guys. I hope you got something out of it. As always, Mitch.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you next week. I'll show you again, Jeff, in a close-up. Obviously, I'm not on my feet or anything. But if he has both sleeves, and this happens all the time, as you know, if you do jiu-jitsu, the first thing they do is they grab your sleeves. What I'm going to do is move both hands to one leg. So just put this leg down and clear that hand away. So I'm going to move both my hands to one leg. Okay, so that's the situation. Both hands to one leg, and then this one comes over here, and then pull like gedan barai. It's literally gedan barai. Come across here, and Mitch can hold on as tight as he wants. So far, we haven't found anyone who can stop it. Chop down, pull there, and then what I would normally do if I'm standing up is this leg now would come to the outside of this leg and push it across for a good Toriando pass or a good knee slice. So once again, here, both hands to one leg. This one comes over there, push it away, and that hand on the way back would push this leg and pass that way. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming along. Look forward to seeing you next week.